Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining this panel today. We know that our seller community loves to learn firsthand from each other, and this training session is offsite marketing tactics. I'm going to be asking three sellers about their journey as they grew their business and built brand loyalty offsite. The that we're going to talk about include using social media, email marketing, and more to attract buyers and to create those repeat customers. Now, I'm going to introduce you to today's panel. First, we have Ashley Nicholes from Clean and Crisp. Ashley's interest with reselling started when she tuned into a podcast on how to replace income from a 9 to 5 job to sell online. Now she runs a successful eBay store and multiple social media channels. Hi, Ashley. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm extremely honored that you would have me on.
So let's start with a question. How did you start using social media for building your brand? Do you remember the first post you ever made? Do you remember what platform it was on and what those responses were like?
Absolutely. So I started on Instagram, and it took a lot of courage for me as actually an introverted and shy person to put myself out there, but I did see it as an opportunity to build a brand for myself. So I thought, well, what the heck? Let's just go try it. And I posted on Instagram some of my sales numbers from my online stores and started to just share things I was selling, things I was finding. And with that, I'm also a mom of two little boys, soon to be three. And I decided to share my journey as a stay-at-home mom slash work from home mom slash eBay seller and everything in between. And it just grew from there. And from Instagram, I launched into YouTube and then TikTok and whatever other platforms I can find my footing in. It's been really fun. And it's been a really wonderful way to connect with so many people who are in my same situation. We kind of just share our day-to-day struggles together.
Congratulations on your good news and thanks for that recap of your experiences. Next up, let's say hi to Rachel. Rachel Smith is from Pride Socks. Socks went from being a scarcity for her family to the leading product of her business. And today, Pride Socks has become more than just a brand, it's become a movement on social media and beyond. Thanks for joining us, Rachel.
Thank you for having me.
We're so glad you're here. So, how did you first showcase Pride Socks off of eBay? And what were some lessons that you learned from that initial tactic?
So when we first came up with the concept Pride Socks, which was basically a challenge from my brother, who also owns a sock company. He's on eBay. He said, Rachel, whatever you do, I don't care what you do, get on eBay and sell. And that's what we did. And then once we took it off site and went into social media, people didn't really understand our story. They were like, you sell socks, rainbows, we don't get it. And so that's where we tagged in with the proudest moments, which was initially our branding, but people couldn't make that connection until we connected it with storytelling and asking people what their proudest moments were, and going out to events, going on the streets and saying, what is your proudest moment? And literally asking people on the street what their proudest moment was, and being able to engage with them and their storytelling and sharing those stories now on the internet globally on social media. People are like grasping for that kind of connection and storytelling. And it's kind of taken itself off from there.
That's wonderful. Thanks again for being here. Okay, finally, let's say hi to Ken. Ken Gaitano from Simply Be took his passion for sneakers and interest in e-commerce and went on to build his successful eBay store. Today, he shares his tips and tricks on his own social platforms, as well as how he collaborates with fellow eBay seller Glenn Zubia. Thanks for being here today, Ken.
Thank you. I'm excited for this opportunity. I always love sharing my story, and it's just been an honor and just been a great blessing to be able to sell on eBay.
Oh, we really appreciate your time. Thank you. So, like the others, you use a lot of different offsite marketing channels, but have really focused in on Instagram. Did you try other offsite marketing channels before you honed in on Instagram? And why is Instagram the place that you prefer?
Well, it's just kind of like the person that I am. I always kind of just want to focus on one thing at a time. One thing at a time. I mean, I've tried juggling multiple things at one time, and none of them were really successful. So it's kind of like just like my eBay story. I just focused on eBay, just didn't bother trying any other platform. I said I'm gonna make this work. So I do love Instagram because, it's just a quick snap. Being running around. I love their Instagram feature for the story and stuff like that. But I started it really mainly because I just want to document the journey, and I've always thought like, man, imagine if I could document this from the start to finish and look back at it one day and see, how cool it would be.
I think that's really interesting that each of you said something about sharing your journey and documenting it, and that it's really about the storytelling, maybe even a little more than the marketing. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the type of content, speaking of which. So Ken, let's stick with you. Based on looking at some of your content, you have apparently hit every financial goal you set for yourself. But how about for social media? How do you determine your goals, and what is your main goal when you think about your social presence?
Really, it started was just for me kind of just like trying to connect with other sellers, and then it grew from becoming just for myself, kind of like reminding myself that you can do this, you've come so far. And then now it became to like I just want to inspire people to pursue their goals. That's kind of just like my thing, my main kind of like what I would be, my lens would be, the perspective I want to show people that if you want to set a goal on something, you can achieve it with hard work, and and it could be fun. That's the thing, like achieving goals and being fun at the same time, and really waking up every day with a smile, kind of tap dancing to work. I don't even consider this work, but that's kind of just like how I want to live my life, and I want to share that and inspire people and share that to whoever out there is seeking for that knowledge and information, that okay, this could be a full-time gig. You can live off of this kind of like side hustle that turned into a full-time business now.
Great, thank you. Ashley, let's turn to you. You mentioned that you are open to all the hottest new platforms, and of course, we all know that's TikTok right now. Yeah.
Yes.
You use it really strategically, it looks like. And some of the content that you share there are your tips and tricks, as well as like general knowledge about selling on eBay. When you think about your viewers, what are you hoping their key takeaway is? What do you hope that they get out of your posts?
Well, TikTok is a relatively newer platform, at least for me and a lot of other resellers. So I hope that they get that this is a really viable way to make some extra money from home. And I do try to use that platform to quickly capture attention if I can, because it is a scrolling app. So people do pass by really quickly. But at the same token, it has this pretty incredible algorithm where if you are able to capture their attention and a video can kind of go viral, it really boosts your views and your page and everything else. I think I got 20,000 followers pretty quickly just from a few viral videos. So it's definitely a really cool platform to engage with people, to advertise things, share your journey, share your process in a quick, less than 60-second way. And so it's been really fun to do that. And I've been very interested in the relatively new people who have been following me, and very curious people who have really never heard of selling on eBay, doing this from home, thrifting, finding things. So it's been a really cool way to connect with maybe like a younger audience.
That's great. I should not confess how much time I spend on TikTok
It's
either.
addicting.
It is. Rachel, really curious about your work with influencers. It looks like you've had a lot of collaborations with, macro influencers, micro influencers, as well as other sellers. And how do you showcase your products with influencers? And even more important, I think our audience would be curious, how do you go about forming those partnerships on your Instagram with influencers? How do you build those relationships?
Each one is its own little showcase, and they're all independent from each other, and how I've developed a relationship. And if we look at our first one with Sky Brown, who's now competing in the Olympics as we speak, I reached out to her when she first started skating, when she was like 3-4 years old, and we just developed a friendship. And like 6 years later, we developed this collaboration. Same thing with Ruby. It is just me reaching out to these individuals after having a relationship and simply asking them, like, this is what we're about. This is what you're about. And together we can make a difference worldwide and share that within the community we both believe in. And I know finding the right people and forming these relationships, we both want the same thing. And so it's been a natural process. And so we've been very lucky and fortunate in who we've been able to work with, because we share the same goals and minds and vision for the community we live in.
I love that. It that shared goal and having those authentic relationships sound like they're really at the core of making those things work. Let's move on to a question about customer service. I mean, we're, all running businesses here. You're running businesses, and customer service is a huge part of making it successful. And that's something that you guys all share, is that focus on the customer. So when you think about your social channels, let's talk about how you interact with your buyers on social, because we all know that customers turn to basically every channel they can to get customer service when they need it. We'll stick with you, Rachel. And you use social media to test new product ideas and to crowdsource the name of new socks. Can you elaborate on that, and how that builds a relationship with your buyers, and what kind of impact is having that? What kind of impact does having that kind of social media engagement have on your business?
It's for us, it's been an incredible impact. And so we sell our story and our brand as a community. And so we believe in involving our community, because it's not just us selling to them, it's us selling to each other, our customer and our community, because they are why we're here. So we want their input. And whenever we ask for their input, it's almost like they're a part of our brand. They are. And so we want their input. For us, it makes us feel alive, because we're involving them and creating a space to where it's like a shared space, and we're happy to do that. And our customers respond well. And if we have different ideas, we ask, they tell us what they want, because ultimately it's them that they're buying the product, and we want their input. And it's been successful so far, and we greatly appreciate them giving us their time and opinion.
I love that, and I'm still hearing that word relationships so much. This is great. Ashley, let's go back to you. You said you have like 20,000 followers on TikTok, which is amazing. But can you tell us, do you use your platform to grow your customer base? And do you have to end up taking care of any customer service needs there right on TikTok?
So TikTok is a little different in that it's harder for viewers to connect with creators unless you are friends, or unless you kind of open it up in that way. So I actually haven't, but I do have people who find my eBay store through my link in my description on TikTok, and then will message me there or buy products and then say, hey, this is where I found you. So it's been pretty minimal as far as customer service goes, but we all know that we want more eyes on our stores, our products, and that's like the end goal, to get some more sales and to connect with more people. So it's amazing what kind of engagement you can get from that platform, just to get eyes on your store and people who are curious and want to know what you do, how you do it, and are interested in what you find. So as far as customer service goes, my end goal, I think, as is everyone's, is to make everyone as happy as possible, make them feel comfortable, make them feel really good about purchasing from me, and know that they're going to get a good product. They're going to get exactly what they wanted. And if not, I'm more than happy to refund and make them happy in that way. So it's been a really cool experience when people have a face to attach to the items that they're getting from eBay, rather than just a blank seller. It's a really fun way to connect with them.
Interesting. I like that insight about personalizing the store and having that base and really representing for your brand. Um, Ken, so you use your Instagram account to post your hauls, I think, right? Um, d does posting them on Instagram result in them selling quicker
Yep.
on your eBay store? Can you compare and contrast for what you post and what you don't? And why do you think that is?
Um. s- Yeah. So when it started, I actually they're both separate. I haven't really linked out my store, but what people find out is they kind of like look for that item that I get, and they find my eBay store. Because solely for the first 2 years, I was only selling on eBay. It's kind of like a very thin line that I kind of like walk because with the industry that we're in, it gets very competitive. So a lot of times, there are things that I sell that I don't post, but there are things that people that are following me on my
Mm,
social media, it's attainable for them in their area. Because now we're talking about wholesaling and bulk buys and stuff like that. Those are connections that are built longer, and those are the things that we protect more. But especially for the discount retailer stores that we go to and shop, those are the things that I openly share. But yeah, I just pretty much mostly share tips, and there are some,
mhm.
very few that I can name that converted into sales, and I just link them out to my eBay store to just get a smoother process of transaction.
Mhm.
I don't have to deal with anything. Send them individual tracking information. So they just, a lot of times they message me, hey, can I get a discount? I'm a follower on your Instagram and stuff like that. And most of the times I definitely give them a discount, especially for supporting my social media and now my eBay store.
Great, thanks. Let's turn to the future and future plans for your marketing your business. Ashley, we talked about your 20,000 TikTok followers. You have even more followers across your multiple social media channels. Um, are you planning to focus in on any one of those? Any new channels on the horizon? Have you looked at Clubhouse? Like, how do you think about expanding your footprint?
So Clubhouse is another that is interesting that I haven't really tapped into a ton yet. But yes, with TikTok especially, I do see a lot of growth potential there. That is something that, again, I just know that the more people I can connect with that put a face to what I'm doing, put a face to my store, the more sales I can get, the more engagement I can get. And ultimately, though, the more people I can teach how to do this, you can make money from home. You can do this on the side. This is something that is extremely sustainable, especially very part-time, which I am extremely open about having a busy life and a busy schedule. And I do this very part-time, but I do plan on growing all of my channels as much as I can and focusing in on the content that each platform engages with best. And what I like about social media is that it tells you very bluntly what's connecting and what's not just by engagement. So Instagram tells me one thing, they like the personal side. They liked it when I share my life a little bit more. YouTube likes the longer tutorials, the step-by-step, really in-depth, how I do what I do. And TikTok really likes the quick step-by-step, maybe top 3 tips or tricks or brands, things that work for me, funny videos, things like that. So as long as I'm really honed in with what that particular audience wants, I do hope that I can continue to grow and share my story, share my store, and share my experience with as many people as I can.
That's a huge insight. You do absolutely have to tailor your content for the right audience and the right channel. I can see everyone nodding. And making sure that you're delivering content based on how the audience reacts and watching those metrics is like key to success at offsite marketing, I think. Um, so, Rachel, earlier you alluded to the fact that Pride Talks is more than just a business to you. You're really building a community. Um, do you feel like there is a stronger sense of community on one platform over any other? Speaking of, the right platform and the right audience. And does that sense of community on whichever platform, does that have an effect where you market your business more, where you focus in on?
So we mainly are on Facebook and Instagram, focusing mostly on Instagram. However, TikTok is on the horizon. As far as like where we connect the most, Instagram, I would say, because our customers, they tend to like not only interact with us, but they interact with each other. And so that's where we have our most push. But on the horizon, we plan on integrating with TikTok and also Facebook private groups so that we can have those private communities and have a greater impact with closed communities where people want to be able to connect more on a genuine level with people within their reach, dealing with maybe the same struggles or life goals that they're trying to accomplish, and be able to motivate each other. And so, because ultimately that's what we're about. We're about being proud of who you are and being able to encourage others to be successful in those accomplishments.
Interesting. Thank you. Ken, you also use different channels, even though Instagram is, I think, your primary focus. Um, and you've hosted Level Up. So, can you tell us what's next for the Hustle Bee? Are you looking at any other platforms? Do you have plans?
Yeah, I really started, how I discovered eBay and making it a full time gig was through the Hustler Hacks channel on YouTube. And when Glenn was able to help me so much with this information, I kind of told him like, hey, I'm gonna dedicate a part of my time to helping you grow your YouTube because you have affected me so, you impacted me so much, and I want to give back more and kind of like learn towards how to expand this to hopefully a multi seven figure business, right? And we've hosted Level Up, and now it was kind of like a more in depth, more of like a business strategy based on individual people that we were working with. I think future plans really we've talked about uh, another round of those with less people. Maybe something that has to do with preparation for Q4. It is something that we've noticed within the category that we sell, that within the last 3 years of selling eBay, we make in my business about 60% of my sale happen in the last 3 months of the year. So being a lot more prepared for that is gonna definitely impact. You could see 30 to 40% growth on your business if you're a lot more prepared for Q4. So that would be the next step, besides honing in more on our personal business, to be able to expand it more. Because I'm a firm believer I cannot teach you how to make $1 million unless I make it myself. So just different levels. So I can tell you, how we got here, but to tell you more on how we're going forward, I have to do it first. So it's just climbing to that next level, and that's why it's been kind of like our word between me and Glenn, and just sharing with other people. It's like level up. We gotta keep leveling up. We gotta grow, personal growth, and also business growth.
I love that. Again, the authenticity and really sharing your personal journey. And also, great reminder, it's August now, but it's not too early to be thinking about holiday in Q4, is it?
For sure, for
Right?
sure. I mean, August is actually our Q4 prep.
Hmm. Yeah. So I know that many of the folks in the audience are interested in taking the plunge themselves, maybe haven't started in on social or maybe just dabbled a little bit. Let's talk about advice for those sellers who want to start on social and start building their brand and learning how to market offsite.
Absolutely. So I'm a really big believer in sharing your face, sharing your story. It's very easy to hide behind the camera and just show hauls or what you found or a cool treasure, and that's great, but it's not going to connect with people the same way as a face and a story and humanity does. So it is scary. And, another piece of advice is I get it that it's scary. Believe me, I was the very last person anyone in my friend group, anyone at school ever thought would be on social media ever. So the fact that I started and that it's working out kind of okay is a really, like, I know what it's like. I know that it's scary, but if you put yourself out there, these incredible opportunities happen, like Ken was saying, that just would not have happened otherwise if I didn't just take that first step. And if you are going to put yourself out there and you do have a plan to do that, I would go ahead and grab each platform that you can, even if you don't put out content just yet. Get your name attached to that platform so that it's the same across all social media platforms, and try to figure out ways that you can, if you do produce content one place, repurpose it for the other place. It is possible to do that so that you're not, tearing your hair out all the time. And don't be shy. Be brave enough to put your face in front of that camera and share who you are. And I think you'll be surprised at how many people really want to connect with you and relate to you on whatever phase of life that you're in.
That's great. Totally agree. As soon as you see a new platform emerge, go grab your screen name as quickly as possible. All right, Rachel, what are your thoughts? What's your hint for someone who is just getting started?
My biggest piece of advice would be patient, be honest with yourself, and whenever you are posting content, I wouldn't so much worry about, oh, how many likes did I get? Because the competition is all the other millions of people on social media. So whatever you're posting, be genuine, be honest, and know that, kind of like what Ashley said, you might not believe in your story, 100% just yet, but every story needs to be told because there's probably hundreds of other people out there that need to hear your story, and share it and be real, just genuine, and be patient with whatever you're doing, because chances are you're not going to have that overnight success that sometimes you see on the internet, but slowly but surely your followers will be there. And most importantly, if you're honest and genuine, people will continue to come back for your content because they need that. We all want that human connection.
Great, thank you. So one last question for each of you. And again, I'll ask you each the same question. We talked a lot about social media. Let's turn a little bit to other offsite marketing tactics that you use to promote your business, other channels that aren't social media.
So, well, social media is my main one. I won't pretend that that's, not. But I do, with social media, I would say I very much am vocal about what I do in my community. So I do get people who reach out just because they know what I do and they know that I'm always looking to pick up liquidations and wholesale. And I've had really cool connections that I've made locally here that have led me to really cool opportunities. So one might be, don't be shy about telling people what you do, how you do it, and opening up the door for a lot of really cool business to business relationships. Those are very possible. And I would also say I really like eBay's new coupon feature, and that I can include a coupon with the purchases that I'm sending out to let people know, hey, you can come back to my store and get, 10, 20% off another item if you want to, and just create that repeating customer. If I can, that would be really great, So I am beginning to utilize that feature a little bit more, but I would say, I guess mostly I'm just doing local connections, business to business relationships, sharing what I do, not being shy. And that's really helped my business grow leap and bounds this year, especially.
I love that online offline connection. That's great. Rachel, let's turn to you, and we'd love to hear more about what other marketing tactics you use besides social media. And I'm going to prompt you a little bit because I hear you have a really great email list. Can you tell us about that?
So we do, well, pre-COVID, we did a lot of events. And so that's where we get a lot of our numbers for our newsletter. But most importantly, the way that we connect with people offline is at events, and also helping people connect with others, because the reality is it's not just about us as individuals. It's about how can we help each other, not only for our own business, but for other people to connect. And we all know someone that knows someone that knows someone. And when we can make that connection for people, it not only helps us as individuals and as a brand, it helps others grow as well. So we do a lot of that. We do a lot of newsletters. We do a lot of events, and any kind of connections that we can make both locally and globally, which we've been able to do over the years. And it's been fantastic.
Great, thanks. Ken, are there any other marketing channels that you use besides social media?
To be honest, I really don't. All my businesses that I've gained have been organic. But one thing I want to actually share is my social media actually sells something. I sell the dream. I sell the pursuit of actually going after your goal. And what better way to point them at selling on eBay, because they have seen it in my life, they've seen it in my success. So yes, I do sell the dream. I sell the you can do it positivity on social media, and definitely you can make it out and accomplish all the successful financial goals that you have in your life by selling on eBay.
What a great way to wrap things up. Thanks, Ken. So that completes our panel on offsite marketing tactics. And thank you three so much, Ashley, Ken, and Rachel, for joining this panel. It was a real pleasure having you on the panel and learning more about you, learning more about your businesses and the way that you approach social media. And then finally, audience, thank you for attending this eBay open session. Thanks.